The average Nigerian is known not to be an early adopter of a new technology. So it means that in delivering a new technology, you must ensure that you have a package that first demonstrates its potentials and its profitability. That's what you call pilots. So we've had a number of pilots set up to show that investments in the vitamin A cassava sector is profitable. But what goes into that demonstration? It's not just ensuring that seeds are supplied. It's also ensuring that when farmers harvest, they are able to convert their roots into all forms of products that have high market value. Any delivery in Nigeria in the agricultural sector that is not led by the market will most likely not be sustainable. Every farmer wants food in the mouth and money in the pocket. So for any agri-technology, you must take care of those two divides. We never joke with that. And so what we did was to ensure that as we're delivering improved stems to farmers, we're exposing them to the new opportunities in the system, the opportunities to make more money than they have been making conventionally. It's not then surprising today that you have a strong niche market for vitamin A Gari, a booming market for vitamin A Fufu, but interestingly, a market that has remained difficult to saturate with vitamin A cassava flour. That's one of the fastest moving markets today. Why? The vitamin A cassava flour is the primary raw material for the production of some specific snacks. We call them combo bites. Others call them combo strips. But have you imagined what it means to say we have a replica of cornflakes using cassava? Cornflakes is alien to us. It was never part of our food system. But today, most of us go for cornflakes. It's a convenience food. How can cassava become a convenient food? How can it come into the convenience food sector? So we're innovating all that. So today we have the replica of corn. We call them Cassava flakes. And all you need to do is add your milk, your sugar, and you will never go for cornflakes anymore. We have what you call your Cass pudding. We even have what can successfully replace your custard. And so for any of the farmers encapped in our program today, we've taken time to train them. We've taken time to study them. We've taken time to understand what drives their adoption. And because of that study, because we know that adoption is a function of many factors, because we know that those many factors will more often than not be driven by innovations that are within culture. In other words, you've got Gari, which is white, from the conventional white variety. And you know it doesn't have much nutrients. Then you have the yellow Gari from the biofortifying cassava. And you know it has about 13 micrograms per gram of vitamin A. And you know that your rural population are the most affected when it comes to micronutrient deficiency in the country. Frequently we forget that available statistics make it very clear to us that about 100 children in Nigeria die every hour. That's the current statistics from the World Health Organization. 100 children die every hour in Nigeria. And about 6 women of childbearing age die every hour in Nigeria. The work we do comes from a passion. We're very passionate about what we do. Every Nigerian child has the right to live. And therefore, if over 50% of the reasons they die has been attributed to food, to malnutrition, then we think that making our foods to become more nutritious is the way to go if Nigerians have to be helped to grow to full capacity. So, malnutrition in Nigeria is not the lack of food per se, no. It is the lack of what the body needs. The brains require a lot of what? Iodine. Iodine is the primary nutrient to help develop what? Our intelligence quotient. Vitamin A supports development of the eyes, and it helps our skin to grow well. It also ensures that we have our immunity developed. Any country where people do not have immunity, so they fall sick always, will always have a heavy health budget. That budget could have been channeled to some more developmental areas. Now, it's not that the government isn't very much aware of what is happening. A lot has happened. So the government says, put iodine in salt. So you call it iodized salt. It's a smart idea. It's a smart action plan to ensure that all of us have access to iodine. The more we think, the more we reason appropriately, the faster a nation will grow. The more nutrient-rich we are, the more we shall process information correctly, and the more we grow to full capacity, and the more we shall add value to our community, to our country. And this is why for Harvest Plus, nutrition remains a must-be. So, checking up available statistics, we've also been able to show that about 75% of those who are vulnerable live in the rural areas, while about 25% live in the urban centers. We sometimes call them the urban poor. The recent studies have also shown that the rich also cry. Children from rich homes, about 13% of them also suffer from micronutrient malnutrition because we consume junk foods. Foods that do not have the nutrients that the body requires. How do you marry all of this? The government again was smart some years ago in knowing that children need these nutrients much more than the adults. The reason being that if a child faces or is challenged by this nutrient deficiency for 2 years consecutively, the damage is permanent. You cannot reverse it. You can't. You can only manage it over time, but the damage is already there. So the government was smart then to say, let's provide supplements to children in hospitals. So today, every mother is encouraged to take their wards, children, to hospitals twice a year to get supplements. Great idea. And this is why in recent times we've launched what you call the Smart Mother Initiative. A smart mother will not just go to the market to buy anything. A smart mother will know what the child needs to grow to full capacity. Then the government said, listen, we can address the needs of children using supplements. How about adults? Even if we missed it when we were young, what do we do at least to maintain what we have? So government said, okay, fine. All food companies in Nigeria must, it did not say should, must fortify their food. So it's expected that commercially processed foods found in the market must have essential nutrients in those foods. And this is why it's not by chance that you purchase sugar and you see the I sign on the sugar pack. It means it has been fortified with vitamin A. You purchase vegetable oil, you see the I sign on it. You purchase flour, you see the I sign on the bag. It's to help you and I, the consumers, to know if the food meets our micronutrient needs or not. But the question to you and I will be, even though the labels show that the foods have been fortified, to what extent? An extent that will make health impact, or an extent that will help us to sell our products? This is for us Nigerians. It's for us to tell if what we are doing will truly add value to the lives of Nigerians or simply increase our pockets. If you then realize that the average Nigerian household frequently does not buy food because their strength lies in producing food. That's where their strengths are. So it's not by chance that you find that in the rural areas you have intercropping. When they plant maize, they plant cassava. They plant okra, they plant pepper. Why? That's where their strengths are. And the excess of their produce, they take to markets every 4 days or 5 days. So you have the rural markets. So their foods go there, the excess that they have. Then they make some money, then they buy what they cannot produce. How can you develop people if you don't understand their lifestyle? It's not going to work. These are some technologies fail because we are imposing on the people. If that is the case, if our people have a lifestyle and we want to build on their capacity, we must do it along their lifestyle. So for us in Harvest Plus, knowing clearly that our rural households, we frequently not want to buy foods. We want to produce their own foods and buy what they cannot produce. And even when they want to buy, they are highly selective. And knowing clearly that the food culture in the rural areas sometimes do not support the exotic nature of foods that you find in the urban areas. I wonder, for most of us, when you're going back to the village, what do they ask you for? When you get to the bigger city, you buy bread to give to them, isn't it? Exactly. That's the culture. Bread is not their culture. They depend on their own food. So for Harvest Plus, the one way to reach out to the rural consumers, rural farmers, with better nutrition is to make the crops they grow naturally to become the source of these essential nutrients. The only way you can reach out to the poor in Nigeria with more micronutrients is to ensure that the crops they grow naturally become the channel to deliver. Hence, they need to change from white to yellow. So that as they grow this, they're going to have access to not just the starch, but the vitamin A in cassava. We've got vitamin A, cassava flour. And with this, you can produce a number of confectionaries, right, including your combo bites, which we saw earlier on, your combo strips, and several other products. This is your vitamin A fufu. And you can see the color. So what you find here is animal feed from cassava peels, from vitamin A cassava peels. It's then not surprising that Harvest Plus is partnering with the National Directorate of Employment with a simple objective to ensure that we diffuse information on investment-friendly packages, which will strengthen the current interest in agripreneur, ensuring that young school leavers do not always have to wait for government for jobs. The task to create jobs for our youth in Nigeria is for all of us. What we are doing in Harvest Plus is only a piece of the puzzle. We are only working to contribute our quota. We are hoping that every other project in the country will also find a way to contribute to that quota. Collectively, I can assure you that Nigeria will become a much better place for you and I in the very near future.